services. And the things that we do as career educators and coaches is that we can help you with all sorts of things. We here at our at Career Services, you can come if you want us to look over your resume or your cover letter. If you're not sure what you want to do next, if you're thinking about applying to graduate school or further education, it's pretty broad what we do. We don't give any advice on visas. We don't have any specific knowledge in that area. It's about careers and your next steps. So it can be anything from the specific, like your resume, to the more general, like I don't quite know what I want to do next. And you can use this throughout your career at Queen's. You can use it every year, and you can use it for a year after you graduate. So we're here to help at all stages, and you may be at different stages in your first year versus in your last year. And your job search may change. So I'm giving some very, very general information. It's the quickest overview ever. And I'll try to save some time for questions at the end. So just keep track of those questions and we'll try to answer them. As I just said, I just want to reiterate that this is a very quick overview. And there's a lot of nuance when it comes to searching for jobs in different countries. So if you're looking for more information, I'll share some of our resources. And also you can make appointments with us as well to kind of go into those details. Okay, so we're going to talk about just preparing for your job search, where to look for jobs in general, a little bit on networking and some additional considerations. So I'm zipping through this fairly quickly. So one of the things that's very important that we don't necessarily think about when looking for a job, often we launch ourselves, okay, I need to find a job. I'll just jump into it and go look for a job. However, taking a little bit of time to reflect on who we are and what we need can be very beneficial. So if you're looking for a summer job, you have to think about, well, what are the skills I'm bringing? What kind of work do I want to be doing? If you're looking for something part-time throughout the year, you can be thinking about, is this something that I'm doing just for an income? Or is this something that's going to be helping my future career specifically? So it's important to take a little bit of time to figure out what you're looking for and who you are and what you bring to the job, because that will make your ability to communicate to employers your skills and your interest, and it'll be more effective when you actually go look for a job. So the general steps in job search: self-assessment, research. Networking is very, very important part of job search in Canada. Preparing your documents, generally searching applications, interviews. We also help out with interviews, following up, and getting into that job. Now, some processes are more extensive than others. So as I kind of alluded to before, you want to think about what you need and what you want, right? So job location, are you looking for something within Kingston itself? If you're graduating, are you looking for something in a specific part of the world or within Canada? Like job type, kind of atmosphere, how much pay is necessary. I mean, maybe you want a job that is giving you a lot of fun, or perhaps it's just generally experience. Sorry, I did jump ahead. So another thing that I would like you to consider before you come are these questions. I'm not going to be able to answer all these questions in this session because it's just too fast. However, it's important that you think about what's the difference between a resume and a CV. In North America, we call a resume is our 1 to 2 page document that just summarizes our job skills in order to apply for a job. We use the term CV usually to talk about your academic CV, which is an extensive document meant for more academic positions. How do we write a cover letter? Cover letters can be very important, or for some jobs, they can be less important. What's some of the etiquette and behavior that is expected around networking interviews? What should you not include in an application? For example, as Arthur pointed out, we don't use headshots in our resumes. I think it's very important, and I will show you a resource of it later. How do you distinguish between a job scam and a real job posting? Please take a look at some of the information that you can find around that, because we do have job scams that come through our network. We try to catch them, but also you might be in a position where you see something that's actually a scam, and we don't want you to fall into that kind of trap. We also can talk about what are your rights as a job seeker and as an employee in Canada. Canada has a lot of, I'd say a decent amount of rights for the employee, but a lot of times we don't know those things. And of course, your immigration regulations, and that's something that I can't speak to. So you would have to make an appointment with someone like Arthur to cover that kind of thing. So it's really valuable to recognize that you have a lot of strengths and capacity already. As young people, as students, you are bringing some really neat perspectives that you can bring to the job and speak about. So for example, you may have some work experience already. You are likely fluent in different languages. You've got intercultural communication skills, which you'll be building as you come to Canada. Your adaptability and flexibility, the decision to come to Canada and do something different is really amazing, right? And that's something that you can speak to in your experience. Looking at issues from multiple viewpoints and your networks. There's many strengths that you already bring. So it's very important that you recognize that you bring something to the table when you're looking for a job. I will just keep saying this over and over again. If you're struggling to figure out your strengths, or you think, oh, I don't really do anything, I've never really done anything, that's a great opportunity to come and speak to a career coach. We can take a look at what you've done in the past and help you clarify some of those experiences that you've had. Because you can be speaking to not just work examples, perhaps you've never worked. You can be speaking to school experiences or volunteer experiences. So very quickly, where to look for jobs. Often in North America, we use job boards to look for jobs. And this is only one technique. This is not the single technique for finding a job. And there are others that I'm going to get to shortly. So there's government job boards. Indeed is a job board, which I'm not sure if anybody's taken a look at it yet, indeed.ca, where pretty much every job that is posted gets kind of conglomerated in one place. It's a little messy and hard to sift through, but it can be very useful. LinkedIn has its job boards. There are local job boards. So for example, we have a couple local associations that will post jobs on a single job board. So you can take a look there. And professional associations. So for example, if you're studying to be a physiotherapist, the College of Physiotherapists will probably have a job board that posts jobs as well. That's just in general to take a look at job boards. If you're looking for summer jobs, again, you'll be able to have the recording and you take a little bit more time to look at this. But there are different websites where you can look specifically for summer employment. You're probably not looking for this summer, but you may be looking for next summer. We also have, Queen's has a summer work experience program, which are jobs that are on campus for students at Queen's. And they're anything from working in a lab to doing some admin support. We have SWEP students doing marketing, doing front desk, lots of possible jobs. And the job postings start in mid-December, but they're ongoing. So it's important to keep track of, or keep on top of your job search continuously. The general deadline is February. However, there are some jobs that get reposted. Okay, I hope everybody's just following along okay so far. We also have a work study program, and you have to apply for this. and there's been some changes which are actually really beneficial to students. Basically, what work study does is it provides you a certain number of hours that you can be working in an on-campus job. And that is subsidized so that it makes it easier for you to find work within an on-campus setting. You still have to apply to these jobs like you would a standard job, but they're designated for students seeking, who have financial need. Again, these job postings tend to start mid-March and are ongoing. So this website or this particular link might be something that you want to take a look at. Okay, we have My Career is kind of your dashboard for all the things to do with our office. We have a very big job board, which has jobs for graduating people. It has jobs for on campus. It will have jobs for off campus part-time. This is also the place that you go if you want to make an appointment with us. So I'm just going to close the slides for just a second, and I'll just show you quite quickly. Let's see. So if you go to My Career, you will, screen sharing has stopped. Sorry, let me share again. I guess I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on a second. Let's see. Sorry, shared the wrong thing. There we go. I hope you can see my screen now. This is what your My Career would look like. And so you would log in and you can take a look at job postings. You can book an appointment. We also have events, and there's many other things, including our internship program, which you can find more about. I hope everybody feeling okay. Okay, if you have questions, keep track of them, and I can revisit this if necessary. Okay. Okay, yep, we can still see my screen. Fantastic. Okay, so as I said before, one of the methods for looking for jobs is to just search for a job and apply for it. It's really important if you're looking on a job board and you see an employer has a job, what you need to do is go to the employer itself. Things like Indeed and LinkedIn have what's called like fast apply, which some employers use, but some don't. So you may see a job on LinkedIn and think you're applying for it, but no one's going to see your application. So it's very important that if you're looking at the general job boards, go to the employer website and find out more about that job. The other way that you can find jobs is canvassing employers. Essentially approaching employers and saying, I'm looking for a job, here's my resume. This tends to be more effective if you're looking for some part-time work during the school year. So for example, if you would like to work in retail or in serving in a restaurant, you might go downtown Kingston with your resume and go into the shop itself and say, I'm looking for work. Here is my resume. Do you have an application form I can fill out? So places like Walmart and Home Depot, they're a little bit further away from Queens, but these are places where students often work, and how they find that work is actually going to the employer and saying, can I speak to a manager? So if you're looking for part-time work, this tends to be the method that is more effective. One of the things is, let's say you're going downtown, you're going to a retail store, and they say, no, we're not hiring right now. That's fine. What you would do is you perhaps the following week or the week after that, reapproach them, because these tend to be places that hire quickly and there's a lot of turnover. So they're not going to keep your resume and keep track of who you are. It's worth revisiting them and saying, I'm looking for work. go during low traffic times if possible, when there's fewer people. So for example, in restaurants that are serving dinner, they tend to be quieter in the afternoon, mid-afternoon. But you wouldn't want to go right at the same time everybody's serving food for people who are coming in. Okay, next thing that's really important for your job search is networking. Networking is extremely important in North America. I think you'll find this not only with larger cities, but mid-sized cities like Kingston. People say, oh, it's who you know. And it's not that there's like a secret circle or something like that. But it's just that when someone knows, oh, this person needs a job, we have something we could hire them into, they will call up that person. And you want to put yourself in a position where you're the one that's being called for that job. So often when you see a job posted, that's often a permanent kind of job, and they're looking for something specific. However, there's a lot of jobs out in Kingston, in smaller organizations, small companies, where they might have a job that's only for 3 months, or they might have a job that's only 10 hours a week, casual. Or they might have a job where you might work as a casual, where they might call you up and say, could you work for this week? And those jobs are not going to be posted on boards like LinkedIn and Indeed. So you want to put yourself in a position where you are building a network. And this can be also very important for your longer term career goals, because as you build your network and you connect with people and you let them know you're looking for work or you're looking for information, that can really help you understand how to break into an industry, how to tailor your application so that your documents look great for this particular job. And it can help you understand what you like as well in the long term. Let's say you're coming in for an engineering degree. You're coming to do engineering and you're not quite sure what engineering you want to do. Connecting with other engineers who are working in the field can help you clarify what your own goals are. But this is also effective for finding work. It takes a little bit longer, but it is effective. So when you're thinking about networking, we have more information on these things. I'm just covering them super quickly. So I know this is just a very, very surface kind of approach. But when we're thinking about networking, it's really not about showing off and being like, oh, I'm so amazing, look at me. Or using people. What you want to be thinking about is connecting with people that will make a genuine relationship, exploring interests, helping others, maybe finding out more about a company and gathering information. And that's going to have long-term results and put you in a position where you're the one being called if something comes up. Okay. Anybody here have a LinkedIn account? I don't know if we want to raise your hand. Awesome. So we have a couple people with LinkedIn accounts. Fantastic. So LinkedIn is not the be all and end all, but it can be very useful for connecting with people. And I'll just show you a couple really quick tools for taking a look. And this, again, this can be very helpful for your job search as well. So let me just get away from the screen and go to LinkedIn. Okay, can everybody see my LinkedIn account? I hope. Okay, so we're on LinkedIn. And I want to find out more about something, or I want to connect with someone. What I will do is I can use the search bar and I can put in a lot of information, but I'm going to start with Queen's University. Because, well, that's what's in Kingston, right? So I'm looking at Queen's University. And I'm going to go to the alumni. So I've found the institutional page and I'm going to go to alumni. And in this, basically what's happened here is that LinkedIn is brought everyone together who has gone to Queens, who say they've graduated from Queens. And so that's a lot of alumni. Let's say I'm looking for, going back to, sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. I can filter, that's way too many alumni to look at. I can filter people based on different categories. And like something like what they studied. So let's say I'm interested, I'm thinking, oh, mechanical engineering. I'm just picking on engineering right now. You can put in all sorts of different things. But I want to find alumni from Queens in mechanical engineering who live in Kingston. Because I would really like to see what they're doing. Is there any way that I could be working in engineering or find a summer job or something like that? So now I have 404 alumni that I can look at, including people that may be students as well. And I can see what people are doing, right? So we have people who are working as professors, director of innovation educational initiatives, someone who's president of something. It's just a quick overview of the people, but I can take a look at someone in particular. I can take a look at someone in particular and I can see their background. This one's not very extensive. I'm going to try one more person. This person's a little bit, doesn't have a lot on their LinkedIn. Sorry, I'm just trying to find someone else. Project manager, City of Kingston. Okay. So I'm going to take a look at this project manager, City of Kingston. And I can see what he's about, but I also can see what's in his background. And this can be really useful for finding jobs as well, because you might see something in his background. Now we're looking at Cleveland, which is not where we are, but you might see something in his background that you could be doing next, right? So this can be very useful, but I also might find someone that I think is really neat. And I think, wow, isn't that neat? I wonder how he got to be an engineer working at the City of Kingston. And so I can connect with him. Now, there are limitations with LinkedIn, but I can connect with him and add a note and connect with him. And then from there, I can build a relationship and say, how did you get into this? What was interesting to you? Do you have any advice for me? So this is just one way to start connecting with people. Connecting with people can happen anywhere. You can do it through your clubs. You can do it through reaching out to people that you find interesting. Networking happens all the time. And also you could do it with your professors, right? Let's say you have an interesting professor. You could have an office hour with them and say, this is really neat. Do you know of anybody doing this for work? Okay, I'm going back to the PowerPoint. So I just have a quick outreach kind of email. This is generally, we say, this is who I am. I would like to, this is what I see in you specifically. I would like to connect. And as I said, I will provide some resources shortly. I'm going through this very quickly, so I hope you're keeping your questions. Ultimately, having some good documents is very important. Typically in Canada, we use our resume primarily, and we also use cover letters quite a bit. So having those structured in a way that is standard for North America is very important, and that they're communicating your skills, there's no errors in them, will give you the best chance to get that next job. So you may want to prepare a general resume. Having a general resume is just good to have, right? Because you never know, someone might say, would you like to do this? Pass along your resume. Tailor your documents to specific employers. And that's something that you can do with a career coach or with a resume coach. This will help you get a job because general resumes will not be effective in every environment. really important when you go and when you see a job, let's say posted on Indeed, you go to the employer website and take a look at the details of that job. Make sure you follow the application instructions very carefully. Because if you don't, people might not see your application, or they might dismiss you as perhaps not as engaged. Ultimately, as I said before, you need to make sure your documents are formatted appropriately, don't have errors in them, and communicate your skills. Okay, additional considerations. When we're thinking about AI is so big, AI can be very useful in the job search process. You can ask it things like, what, these are the things I'm interested in. What kind of summer jobs could I get? Or you're working on writing a resume. These are the skills I have. Help me create some phrases for a resume. However, it is limited. Its language can come off as very generic. So you just have to pay attention to make sure you're not overusing it or relying on it exclusively. It can't replace your unique voice, right? And people, employers, and people in general connect with real humans. They can see, oh, this is a real story. This person is truly interested. When you're looking for work, it can be exhausting. It is time consuming, and also can be very emotionally stressful, because you will face a lot of ghosting and a lot of rejection in general. So making sure you're thinking about that. What am I capable of doing? How much energy am I putting in towards this? Focused on the quality of your application rather than just spreading your application everywhere, and building relationships with people. As I said, embrace your emotions, right? It's a little bit stressful looking for a job. So just reminding yourself, this is a stressful thing. It's okay. I will keep forging forward. And again, that's something that a career coach can help out with. My final thoughts, be mindful of job scams. Go to the company website, I reiterate that. Small and medium-sized organizations make up a lot of the jobs in Canada. So if you're just looking for the big organizations, you're missing out on a lot of the market. Job searching takes time. You have skills that are probably amazing, and ask for support. So those, I'll take questions second. I'm going to just show you a couple of the website resources. As I said before, you've got access to My Career, right? We've got more workshops. This particular, I'll copy and paste this one into the chat. This is part of our website, which I find really useful. It's got a lot of things. So basically it has things on job postings. We have career fairs. This can be a really great place to start looking for work as well. We already have the dates for those, October 1st and October 2nd. And they're fun, and often people are handing out candy. So that's worth going to. We also have drop-in advising. And then I often go to this particular part quite a bit. We have many tip sheets on all sorts of career topics. So like networking, I went over very quickly. Informational interviews, I often bring up with students quite a bit. This is the process of reaching out to someone and talking to them. So we have a tip sheet on that, which is very useful. Introduction to working in Canada, right? So if something's gone by too quickly, here's our job scam page. So recognizing job scams, interviews, all sorts of things. And we also have career prep modules. So when you can register for this, and it's free. There's no additional cost. You don't need to complete it. You can use this to help yourself out. If there's information you already know, you can skip it. There's no grade or anything associated with this. So we've got career exploration, resume module, cover letter, interviews to help you out with these details that I skimmed over very, very quickly. How you can find these is you go to OnQ, OnQ, and if you go to browse now or the search bar, find the search bar and put in career prep modules, it will come up. It won't come up for me because I'm already registered, but put in career prep modules and you will find it. If you forget about that at the end of this, you can see here it tells you about it again. Yes, hold on 2 seconds. Okay, now I know I've zipped through this, so now I can take questions. Any questions at this point in time?